Alright, so I'm starting off with my base and going with my moisturiser and then going with my Maybelline Fit Me shade in 310, or I think Sand Beige I think it was. So I'm just working it all over my face, then taking some concealer. I took the light shades first and then the even lighter shade. So basically working at high points on my face, including my jawline. And then of course taking the contour shade, which is the darkest one. And then with my foundation brush, I'm just going to blend it all through. Then with my Starvey powder and powder brush, I'm just obviously setting my face. Using my bronzer brush just to set under my eyes. Then with my Naked 2 palette, or Naked Basics palette, I'm taking this, I think it was Walk of Shame, and just contouring my nose with it with my sister's pencil brush, because I didn't want to get my actual one dirty. I finally found it, by the way. Just basically contouring my nose, and then I'm going to be baking the sides of it with my Laura Mercier powder and my blender brush from XO Beauty. And of course, it's down the center of my nose as well, but using my pencil brush for that point, or my sister's pencil brush. Then going with this BYS shimmer shadow, I'm going to take this purple on my eyebrow groomer brush, and of course just making my brows purple. And of course chiseling them out as usual, using my duo-ended concealer brush. And of course just flicking a weather bake. Then going with my MAC primer and of course my deluxe brush, I'm just priming my eyes of course. And then setting that over with Venus or Foxy, whichever one it is. Then I'm taking my Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette, I'm taking the shade Courtney and just fitting it into my crease with my blender brush. And then the shades China White and the purple shade Violence, or Violence, whatever it is, I'm blending that into my outer V and just onto my crease. I'm like exaggerating my eyeshadow. So then I like this trick from Jaclyn Hill. You take your baking powder and then you just carve it in the same place you put tape. Then I'm taking China White and the blue shade, Expensive, and placing it in the middle of my eyelid. And then taking Star Power, which is the pink. I did also add the white with that as well, and just putting that on my inner corner. And then just making sure it's all blended and seamless. So taking the white shade again and Star Power again, I'm just basically almost lining my lower lash line. And taking Star Power and just doing the other side and basically meeting them halfway. And I'm also creating like a new inner corner but a little lower than usual. So precisely the same thing on the side. Pink on the outer edge of my lower lash line and the blue on the inner edge of my lower lash line, and then bring it in to create a new tear duct. So then taking China White and the gold shade, I forgot what it's called, but Rich Bitch, I'm just basically placing it into my inner tear duct where there's a gap. And then with my eyebrow brush, I'm just basically adding some more blue just to make it a bit more solid in tone. And of course adding some liner from where where the pink left off, and just adding the blue underneath of that, so that I can join it up with the other side of the blue. And then sweeping away the bake. And just basically re-adding the pink because I managed to lose some. So now taking Shishi, the gold glitter, I'm using my pencil brush, just to place it in my inner tear duct, just for a little sparkle. And then with these two blue shades from the exact same line, I'm taking the lighter blue on my inner eye. And just basically following the blue line. Follow the yellow brick road. And using I think it was the darker blue on the outer edge. And basically just following the other line. So taking my purple shade, which is from the same line, I'm of course filling my brows in with this as well because I wanted to have some purple brows. No mermaid can get enough of sparkle, at least not the stereotype ones. So now taking my Magic Lord Precision Pen in Night Owl or Haunted, I'm just very teeny tiny lining my lashes. My top lash line I meant, you know what I meant. You can see what I'm doing obviously. So then I'm going back over that with some purple glitter. Because like I said, mermaids can never get enough of glitter. Stereotype ones anyway. So now I'm just adding some false lashes. These ones are a little bit separated. They're the whole lash strip thing. I also did add another second pair on top to like more wispier pair. So it gave me a lot of volume. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. So now I'm just rolling and lashing my lashes, top and bottom. And with my pencil brush, lip definer brush, I'm just using Black Rainbow from Jeffree Star and tightening my eyes. So now I did decide to go in with my NYX liner, but I changed my mind and went in with my NYX Gem Basic in Milk, so I remembered that I had that. So just using my lip definer brush and adding this to my waterline, which I'm basically at a frame for, but you all know where my waterline is, or where your own waterline is. I did also set over with something from my Beer with Nail palette. Now taking I'm Royalty, which is a purple lipstick from Jeffree Star, and this is without the glitter. Now I'm adding the glitter. That was a hell of a tongue twister. So now taking some pantyhose or fishnet stockings. I did cut off the tip of it and just basically place it over my head. I look like an idiot, but whatever. I'm just basically placing blue between the lines and a bit of purple, like multi-tone blue and a little bit of purple. You know, just to match the theme of my wig and my makeup. So of course adding it to my temples and my cheekbones. As well as my chin area. I was going to do a side jawline, but you know, I changed my mind and did here instead. I also did my shoulders, but it wasn't blended enough, so I just left the clips out. So I'm just adding it down to my neck, and I know you're probably all hysterically laughing and screenshotting. So taking this transparent sheer shade from the same ABH palette, I'm just adding this to my cheekbones, because I obviously want to give my skin a wet, glossy look, as mermaids are very, very moist on the surface. So adding this pretty much is everywhere that you would normally highlight. And then it went in with my chocolate bar and taking champagne truffle as per usual and highlighting with that, whatever, on all the same places. Put my wig back on and fix my face with spray. So that is it for the Glam side of things. Now for GlamnGore. So using some spirit gum, I'm obviously placing this on the side of my mouth and adding like an upside down tear shape, and just of course tapping my finger with it because that's how it gets tacky. So now I'm just placing my foiled coiled up hook onto my mouth, well next to it, and then just adding a little bit more towards my cheekbone, tapping that out, and then sticking the whole thing down. So now with the cover up of the wound part, I'm just adding some lash glue, but you can use whatever you want, as long as it's sticky and holds well. So as I added more glue, I also added some transparent tissue paper, or just tissues. I just peeled it all off. So more lash glue, more tissue, and just keep on going until I surrounded the base of the foil, or my version of a hook. I did also fold some pieces up like little sausage round pieces and wrap them around the base of it, just so it gives the skin a more of a raised effect in effect. So of course now just using my primer, because it's obviously the same tone of my skin, I'm just using my Reels and Deluxe Crease Reels and Eggs brush just to apply the primer to the base of it, and then just spread it out, and then use my finger to further blend it. And of course using some Laura Mercier to set the whole thing. To add the gorish part, I'm taking Jeffree Star's Unicorn Blood and its Duo Ended Artist blender and eyeshadow packing brush. I'm just using the blender side to add the red shade down first, so like the blood marks. And taking Colour Cosmetics Dead of Night and the same brush, I'm just basically adding this around the base of it, because that's obviously where the most depth or the most blood is. Even though in the water your blood just flows everywhere, it doesn't necessarily stick to your face, but in effect if my mermaid goes right to the surface, this was what would happen. So I'm just adding some blood marks, and then I'm just making sure that that piece fit into my mouth nicely, then adding some more spirit gum to right next to my nose, tapping it out till it gets tacky, and then placing it back in my mouth and back on my cheek. And of course just molding it around with my lip and using my teeth just to squish it in so it looks like it's hooking up into my mouth rather than just sitting plainly on my lip. And of course adding some blood marks to my bottom lip as well, because obviously blood will spill out of my mouth as well. And that is it for the whole Halloween look. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys for my next video. Love you guys!